I'm April Young, founder of Stage Savvy Speakers and the host and producer of the Confidence Catalyst. If you are new here, welcome. And if you're not new, welcome back. Today, I am so excited to bring on one of our Confidence Catalyst alumni speakers to talk about her experience working together and speaking on stage at the Confidence Catalyst. A 2024 Confidence Catalyst Speaker Series alumni, Carina Chicas is a mortgage professional and she's passionate about educating her clients and building strong relationships based on amazing communication. So, Carina, welcome. I'm so glad to have you here.
Hello.
Thank you for coming on and being willing to share your experience as a Confidence Catalyst speaker. All right, let's hop right in. So, the first question that I want to ask you today is what made you decide to join the Confidence Catalyst and be a speaker on our stage just last year?
What started for me is I've always had the biggest fear of public speaking. I've had the worst experiences, whether that was in college, presenting for work. I've never had the greatest experience with that. And so I would find every opportunity not to avoid any kind of public speaking. And I realized that for me, in order for me to move forward, is to find a way to where I can get comfortable. And sure, I looked at multiple different kinds of different like TikToks or YouTubes that gave pointers, but it's nothing like the hands-on experience and the one-on-one that I had with you, April, that really just changed, part of my life. So that's really what drove me is that I was just done being afraid. That's really what it was. I was done being afraid of public speaking and especially where that's so apparent to now. And that's what I was looking to grow with that.
Awesome. I love it. And just for some context, too, we just happened to be in the right place at the right time at the same time
Yep.
when we were at networking together. And so, for all of
Hmm.
you watching, I want you to know that you just never know who you might come across when you're
Yep.
out in the world and doing that thing that is your thing. So, Karina and I met just by chance at a
Yep.
networking event and she said, "Hey, I'm ready." And then she was on stage. So it can really happen that fast for you. Awesome.
Yep.
I appreciate that. Let's move on. We have so much good information to share today. So the next question that I have for you is I want you to talk a little bit about how you were feeling about public speaking and sharing your story before we started. Now, you did just touch on that. Just touch a little
Hmm.
bit more about that, what it was like for you before we worked together.
Oh, it was terrifying. It was absolutely terrifying. And it developed a huge insecurity of mine to be able to find my own voice. If you really think about it, if you struggle with just trying to find your own voice or having the confidence to really speak in a safe space, it really just deteriorates your potential. That's where it came from me, where I struggled with that growing up. And I thought that I could be able to handle that by always just avoiding every time where it was my chance to speak on a topic that I was passionate about or what I've learned. And I would just avoid that at all costs because I struggled with being able to speak the right words, to have a whole bunch of audience be able to stare back at me and just really doubting myself what they were thinking and to where I just didn't want to share that story. It's different where even with my experiences of where I learned speaking that to a small group of individuals, I can absolutely do. But there is a completely different experience and just in general, just to be able to have that skill of speaking with a variety of people or even with online.
It is very different. And I'm so glad that you were brave enough to face that fear
Me too.
and finally do it, right? And we'll get into kind of what it's unlocked for you since then in just a minute. The next question is I would love for you to describe just one specific moment in our time working together that was a game changer for you. If you could just go back to our experience and pick one point where you're like, things changed right here, what was that?
Oh man, it's hard to really name one thing, but I would probably have to say when honestly every time we would meet weekly I would always learn something new. I would always develop that confidence. For me, I think when we were brainstorming what things that I would like to talk about, I really felt that my list of things weren't really quality experiences to talk about. I remember discussing that with you. I'm like, I don't even think this is good enough to even for people that would want to listen. And you just absolutely gave me that confidence saying, no, you have a story here. And you asked me those questions that helped me uncover more of that story. I think that was a game changer for me because then I was more open to the fact that, oh, okay, I actually have a story here that I could share. And that's when we decided to share my experience with the education system, with school, and how there needs to be a significant change and how those events in school really does affect your life for my life now. That's, I would say, you just helping me give that confidence to really brainstorm the ideas that I wanted to share and to dive deep into that. That's one. And then the second one I would have to say is when we were getting close to actually presenting and practicing what that would look like, you gave me a lot of good pointers to where how it could be not as nervous once you get through. I really thought I was going to be essentially thrown into the wolves. I really thought that this whole process was going to be okay, you have to memorize your full script and you're just going to go up on center stage with no words and you're just going to wing it. You see all those professionals that can just do it without any kind of note cards or maybe just a few note cards and barely look at them. So I felt like that was something that I had to do to overcome my fear. And that's absolutely not the case. The fact that we were able to have the safe space of people who are wanting to hear different, intriguing stories of other people's lives, but we were also given to where we can at least have our note cards and we can read off it to each other. And it's just that's what really helped me with making it it's a positive experience and also just the specific techniques of when I'm speaking and what the tone would be with the script. So that's what I would say is this variety of ones, but those two would probably be the most impactful for me.
Awesome. I love that. I love that. Since we worked together, I figured out a way to sum up what you just said for
Yep.
some of our other speakers. And I just tell them all now, be the speaker that you are right now. We see those professionals on stage that have been speaking for 10, 20. You think, oh my
Right.
gosh, they're so good. They're
Right.
memorized. But
Yeah.
it's only because they've done it so long. They didn't start
Yes.
out that way. And that's
Mhm.
what we tend to forget, right? Their chapter 20 is not where we are.
Mm.
Oh, yeah, I firmly believe we should speak as we are in the moment, and that's how we get better, is to keep doing
Right.
so. I
Right.
appreciate that. What surprised you the most about your own growth through the whole process? Now, we spent 12 weeks together as opposed
Yeah.
to 8 for the program because we did some one-on-one work as well. So we had a little more time together. But thinking back on that whole experience, if you could just pick one thing, what surprised you the most about afterwards or your own growth during the process?
What surprised me the most, the one thing that I could think of already right off the bat was after you told me from the very beginning, hey, when you get up there, it's going to maybe be about 3 seconds. If you could just handle the first 3 seconds where you have your nerves and you have your butterflies and like you're, okay, I'm really doing this, right? And then after that, you're going to be comfortable on stage. I really thought, I was like, oh, she's just probably saying that so I don't like chicken out. But it's so true. It is absolutely true. As soon as I just counted in my head as I was reading, my story, that 3 seconds, and then I kid you not, it was like a light switch. It just completely, my nerves were gone away. I was calmer. You could even tell in my videos that watching back that I was able to just flow through my story and to really pause and give it to that adding more emphasis to it. And I even added a few at the very closing that was completely unscripted, which I would have never thought I would do. And I did that. So you get really, you get surprised at yourself of what the capabilities that you have if you're just given the tools and the resources and the training to do that. So that I will say surprised me. I really thought that at the end, I was just going to be this emotional wreck to where it wasn't like I was gonna make a mistake somehow and I didn't. And but I would say that would be one of the things that was really surprising to me that I took away from that experience. I'm trying to think if there's any other one. But yeah, I will probably say that. I'm probably gonna think of more things as we go along
That's
with the
okay.
questions.
Yeah, that's okay. I would say also, as a spectator watching you speak and having worked with you for the 10 weeks prior, and then watching you on the stage, once you settled in, you looked like you were
Yeah.
having a good time. And
Yeah.
that is really why I tell you to just give yourself a few seconds to kind of settle into it because then it becomes fun and your body calms down, your mind calms down, and then it's just a good time. So I love
Yeah.
that. I love that. We have just a few questions left, and I know we're all just dying. I know I'm dying to hear your answers because I know you've been doing such great things since we worked together. So, how would you describe my coaching style in just a few words and why?
Okay. I would definitely say for one, safe. So it was a safe environment. You asked me a lot of questions that I needed to uncover for myself to really dig deep into finding my purpose in all this. I was able to really be vulnerable as
Mhm.
far as like my experiences. I don't like to share, it's not an easy thing for me. And I'm sure a lot of other folks out there too, to share things that really either traumatized you or that you struggled. We live in such a society where we have to always emphasize all of our successes and the great things, whether it's on social media or again, other accomplishments. But there's so many instances where you've had really hard, troubling times in your life. And to be able to share that with you through that one-on-one coaching, you didn't use that to really put a huge spotlight on it, but you've did is that you've made it a safe space to where it really empowered me to talk about that, and that it was that voice and just what the title, confidence catalyst, that's exactly what it is. If you want your confidence to catapult, that's just what I mean, that's what I think of it when it comes to confidence catalyst, is that your confidence, it just completely just skyrockets, but that's within yourself. So I would say for that, for sure, safe. And I would then say the second piece would be, I would say maybe more of the confidence for sure. I spoke a little lightly on that, but I don't want to put that lightly. Really, I had zero confidence when it came to, I'm confident in other areas, but this is something that I had zero confidence in. So the fact that you've helped me be able to gain that confidence in myself, it's something that I'll hold with me for the rest of my life. I will say the third word, I would say empowered as well. Empowerment does, it encourages the person to be able to again share those really vulnerable stories, and everything was so well organized. That was another thing as well. I know I have to do all the work because it's my story and it's my experience, but you've really taken the time to where when I read write out all like the speech, you would help edit it to where you got what I was trying to say. So we changed a few words to really emphasize the tone of it, and because it's so much more difficult when you're typing and writing what you're wanting to say versus actually speaking it. That's another thing that was surprising to me. I didn't think I struggled so much of as far as writing what I wanted to say, but then actually speaking it, not having it sound robotic. So that's, I would say, for those for sure.
Thank you so much for that feedback. All right, we have a few questions left and just a few more minutes, so we'll get through
Okay.
these as quick as we can. Tell us a little bit about how it finally felt to share your story on stage.
I I was shocked as far as how many people came up to me afterwards, the audience, that really resonated their own story as well, their experiences. I really felt isolated from my specific story. I really didn't think that a lot of people struggled the way I did with the school learning
Yeah.
system and just with teachers who don't understand, who don't grasp the different learning styles that a child could have to be successful. And I will say that felt amazing that many people came up to me saying, "Hey, that really resonated to me. This is what happened to me." And I was able to share, bond, and connect with those people that I've never met before. And so I would say that was a really great experience. It made me want to share more, which I did, which I'm sure I'll answer that in the next few questions. But yeah, I will say that it was such an empowerment experience for me, especially at the end after I was done with my speech.
Awesome. And this question goes off of that one a little bit as well. How has this experience, sharing your story, going through the coaching, how has that impacted your confidence outside of speaking? So we all know confidence is something that we use in our entire life. How did this experience help build upon
Mhm.
that for you in other areas?
I don't allow some of my insecurities to be weaponized against me. I don't
Oh,
allow others to weaponize something that I might not be great at. I don't allow that power to them to be taken from me. So that right there is what changed my life as far as besides speaking was having just being able to be completely confident within yourself, but allowing the growth to where, hey, I might not be great at this certain thing, but I can learn about it and I can be able that won't I won't allow that to where it's going to deteriorate my reputation or my qualities in myself. So
that's
that's what I
amazing.
would say.
I love that. I love that so much. What feedback, and you just mentioned on this, so if you have any additional feedback from other people besides audience members, what feedback did you receive from friends, family, or anyone else after you spoke?
I've had feedback from people saying, wow, I didn't see, it didn't look like you struggled in whether that was in school or that whether you didn't look like you struggled in public speaking. I didn't know that that was a big thing for you, especially with my parents. They have absolutely supported me in every way, and it gave them open perspective and like realization kind of the things that I went through. And for myself, with because I'm a mom, so I get to use my experiences, especially with this one, to really help my kids to be able to advocate for them for school and to advocate for them as human beings. Yeah, I will say a lot of people they've really reached out to me saying, "Hey, was it worth it doing this process? Was it worth getting up there and sharing this specific story?" And I would say absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's the next question, too, is if someone's on the fence
Mhm.
about participating in the Confidence Catalyst and getting vulnerable and sharing their story in one or two sentences, what would you tell them?
I will say to if you're looking, you're never going to have that fully confident to where I can be able to go up and there do anything to where I'm not You're it's there's gonna be some fear. I'm not gonna lie and sit here and say that I wasn't afraid when I started this process. And so my thing I would say to them is do it. Just bite the bullet and do it because you're never going to be fully ready. You have to, even if it's taking that little baby step, it's going to drastically change your life.
Awesome. I love it. And then lastly, again, in just one sentence, maybe two, what does being a Confidence Catalyst alumni now mean to you?
It's now have it changed my life to where I'm no longer trying to not hide from public speaking. I'm normally the first person to volunteer wanting to speak at a topic, or
Wow.
whether that's in with career within my presentations, whether that's for entrepreneurship, whether that's for nonprofit groups. I am now to where I'm looking for what's the next project I can work on? What's something else I can be able to talk about and share? Even having the confidence to where I'm wanting to post more with video content, something that I would have never thought.
That's amazing. And just so we can connect you with people that might be looking for a speaker with your skills, what topics or types of events are you looking to speak at, or what topics do you speak on?
It's a variety within my job with mortgage, so any kind of home ownership opportunities, or even for clients who are wanting to build their own homes. I'm also construction certified. So in the as far as work piece, I would love to be able to speak on that. As far as for school, I would love to be able to speak even just with college students who are looking to become teachers. I think my story would really help broaden that perspective for them. So before they get their own classroom, I'm even talking about just on a spiritual level with my church and being able to speak on that of how the Lord has helped shaped my journey and to have just feedback and the support in that way. So I it's all over the place. I'm definitely open to sharing any kind of story that would really help with the community.
That's wonderful. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing your feedback with me today. So, those watching this video, if you are in any way connected with schools, education programs at the college level, or you need more information or presentations on home financing and anything to do with that, or you just want to connect with Carina, we will have her information available. You can send me a message and I will connect you so that you can see if she can be on your stage. So, Carina, thank you so much for sharing today. I really appreciate it. And for everybody watching, come back for more. We have a whole series of these reviews coming your way. Thank you so much.